Well, today I want to go ahead and start winterizing it. Most importantly is trying to get all the methanol out of it so it can sit over the winter. But before I do that, I've been wanting to leak down test the barrel valve. I bought the tester about 3 weeks ago and I never got around to testing it. So today I'm going to take off the barrel valve and clean it out, soak it with oil, clean all the fuel lines out. I want to take the injector hat off. But I thought it'd be a good time now to do the leak down test because if there is any fuel left in the lines, it'll blow it out. So let me see if I can get the tripod set up and we'll go ahead and do the leak down test, see where it's at. Okay, well, the first thing I need to do is cap off the idle circuit check valve. This check valve here is set at 4 psi, so we need to cap it off. The top check valve up here is the pump saver. That's for when you when you let off the throttle and the gear pump obviously builds up pressure. It has to go somewhere, so this will pop off and send it back to the return. But it's set at 140 psi. So I don't have to cap it because we're only going to test at 100 psi for the leak down test. This here is a hose. It's got a quick disconnect on one end, fitting on the other end to go to the barrel valve. This is to hook up to the tester. We'll get that. And here you can see the leak down tester. I got it from Good Vibrations Motorsports out in California. So what you do is hook up the air to it, and then you need to adjust the regulator here. You can see that. Get it to 0, which is 100 psi. Right there, okay, and then all you need to do is plug in the and then read the gauge, and we're flowing right at, you can see that, about 65%. Normally on a blown alcohol engine they're running like 70 to 80%, but because I run this on the street, I got the fuel turned way down. But this will give me a good reference in the spring when I start back up. After I take everything apart and oil it, and when I start back up in the spring, I'll have a good idea of where to set it to start with. So that's how you do a leak down test. Well, now that I got the leak down tested on the barrel valve, I want to go ahead and take the injector hat off. I want to check inside the blower. It's a Teflon strip blower, and make sure that everything looks good in there, and probably oil it up a little bit. Also want to take off all the injector lines, blow them out, and run some oil through them. So I got 2 bolts up here in the front, and there's 2 back here in the back. 2 nuts to take off, and then the injector, the barrel valve, the lines, everything will come off in one piece. One thing nice about having studs on here is that the injector hat is on studs. You can see here the blower's on studs. You've seen the valve covers are studded, and of course the heads are studded. Makes it a lot easier taking things apart and putting them back together by yourself. Let me see if I can get the nuts off. I'll set up the camera. We'll take off the injector hat. Well, first thing I'm going to do is disconnect the throttle cable. got a quick disconnect, makes it easy to get that off. Let me get a wrench and we'll get the bolts, the nuts off for the injector hat. Nice and clean. See if I can get the camera loose. You can see I run some Marvel Mystery Oil through the injector barrel valve and blew it through here so you can see. It looks really good. I don't see no corrosion. Inside. Yeah, real good. Well, let me go ahead and I'm going to start taking off the lines on here and clean them out and run some oil through them. And then I'm probably going to put the injector hat back on. So make sure it keeps stuff out of the motor. Well, as you can see, I got the injector hat over here on my table. I got this side apart. I thought I'd show you a little bit of what's involved in winterizing it to get all the methanol out. So I take all the lines off and the fittings out, blow everything out with air, and then I got a little squirt bottle there. I go ahead and run a little bit of Marvel Mystery Oil through everything to keep it lubed. And also I thought I'd show some of the people that are probably watching are not familiar with this type of setup. So I wanted to explain a little bit. You've seen where I tested the barrel valve and the fuel comes out of here, goes through this 1/2-inch line to the distribution block, and then added the distribution block to these individual lines. Well, from here, the line goes to this nozzle. Let me see if you can see it better there. It's got a big hole here, and it's got a small hole on this end, and they're numbered. You can see right there, it says 47. So this one's a 47 thousandths of an inch hole. You can vary them for more fuel to the front, left or right. They come in all different sizes. And then they thread into this piece, which I call a nozzle holder, I guess, which goes into the injector hat and then sprays down on the blower. Well, you see the hole here on the top of the nozzle holders. If you look inside the injector hat, you'll see right there that there's notches with a hole facing down, and that's to spray the fuel down onto the blower. So these 6 right here all spray down, and then if you notice in the back, those 2 spray straight down, which they spray onto the back bearing housing of the blower. The back bearings don't have an oil like the front. The front bearings are in gear oil, but the back back isn't. So what I'll do now is finish putting this together, and then once I get this side oiled, I'll go ahead and take the other side apart and finish that. And then I think what I'm gonna do is go ahead and put the injector hat back on the blower, and the blower looked good. Help keep stuff out of it over the winter. I don't want to leave it open. Well, I appreciate everybody watching. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and like I said, I got a bunch of projects planned for this winter. So thanks again for watching.